Smooth 98.1. It is gone past 6:30, and you know what that means for Thursday morning. This is a Business Express on Smooth Breakfast. I'm Sope Martins, and for the next 15 minutes, we are going in on what's happening and what's affecting Nigeria on the business and economical side of things. So, joining me, of course, is Rotus. Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, Sope. Good morning to you. Good morning to all our viewers and listeners out there. And good morning to our special guest from Stanbic IBTC.
Yes, Seun Ogundolapo. And I've already been talking before we got in. He's the head of trade and transactional products and services with Stanbic IBTC. And today's Business Express is brought to you by Stanbic IBTC. Good morning, Seun. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Good morning. Good morning, Rotos. Good morning, Sope.
Fantastic. Good morning.
All right, morning to you too. Great to have you on. So, people, let's kick off this conversation and make sure you join the conversation. If you are viewing us up on YouTube, join via the live chat. If you are listening, send your messages in via WhatsApp to 0809 440 981. And wherever you are in the world, you can use the hashtag Business Express 981 up on Twitter. All right, so Rotus, take it away.
All right, thank you so much. So yeah, we're going to be talking about trade, the Lekki port and the Lagos free zone. And if we have time, we bring in the Apapa port as well. We can't forget the Apapa port. Everybody seems to be celebrating the Lekki port and not talking about Apapa anymore. So Seun, there was a forum recently where a lot was talked about the ports. And one of the outcomes of that forum is that for Nigeria to realize her economic potential, she must begin to focus on planned city development. Well, what's the advantage of planned city development?
All right, thanks, Rotos. One thing we have to know is that a planned city development is a layout that puts up structures and facilities, that properly integrates residential and commercial activities, building and structures and amenities. So it is expected that this will leave room for future development. And some advantages you would get to see is that it facilitates future development in that area. Then resources are optimized. And then also it encourages innovation. And when you combine these factors together, you get to see that developmental activities are facilitated. So that's really the main, advantage of having a planned city development.
Okay. Thank you for that. And a lot's been said about the integration between the Lagos Free Zone and the Lekki ports. Theoretically, practically, how would that integration work?
Okay, now the Lekki Free Port and the Free Zone this time around is quite unique, and quite frankly, when you speak about integration, if you look at this port, I've been at that port, I've been at the zone itself, and it's quite mind-blowing. So the Free Zone on its own already have facilities that should or is able to support the port's operation. I mean, they have the planned city development that we mentioned earlier. Then there are some things that companies are already operating there. I mean, for some time. So they have already planned that locating a port there, they'll be able to have things and amenities, structures, such that when the port is fully operational, there's already a ground for smooth running of the port. And by that I mean, for example, a lot of companies, they have warehouses, right? And when you talk about all the other ports, initially and even up till now, we're having things like port congestion. So you have containers, you have goods that have come in. The storage facility that the companies themselves have outside the port is able to facilitate moving goods from the port into those warehouses. And then, you're now having the issue around ports, congestions and things like that. So, and then the place, I mean, the structure is more digitized, if I may put it that way. You have digitized truck services, you have, and the companies coming into that zone have already made that plan and facility in place. You know, the community itself supports the port operation structure. There is, you know, whenever you have ports, you have other ancillary amenities and businesses that will come up to facilitate smooth running of any port. You discover that businesses would easily come up, and the structures that are already there, you know, facilitate running of those businesses, which makes sense. I mean, the road network for this particular port, it is well connected by road, by sea, or by air. And when it is fully developed, it would, you know, it will spread over about 805 hectares, you know. It has petroleum and petrochemical complexes. You know, you have a lot of, I mean, if you and I are aware that the Dangote refinery is in that location. So a lot of facilities and structures are already there that would allow integration of the port with the community itself. And I mean, there are 23 business entities already operating in that free trade zone, packaging companies and things like that. So really, in terms of integration, I think this it's a compensating benefit, if I may put it that way.
I've got a message in from Gwenga Akamu who says, so what about the roads to evacuate goods from the Lekki ports to the mainland and other parts of Nigeria? Is there a place for rail there?
Okay, I did mention that the zone is connected by rail, by road, sea, and air, and that's the plan, as a matter of fact. And you know, developmental activities are still ongoing there. And like I said, if you've been to that place, you see that there is a connection to Ogun State. I mean, Ijebu-Ode, and you know, not really coming through the road that links back to the Lagos mainland and things like that. So the government is still, I mean, the work is still ongoing, construction is still ongoing to see how that can be, you know, smoothing. And the current situation is that the road is still undergoing a lot of repairs, especially from the Lekki axis, and you agree with me that a lot of work is being done there. But when everything is fully, you know, tarred and everything is clear, that would be a very good channel to facilitate access to the zone.
So, Joe, if I were to ask you from an ease of doing business perspective.
Sorry, Lotus, I'm not hearing you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay, sorry about that. I was asking from an ease of doing business perspective, everything you listed from the Lekki port is what Apapa does not have. Is that correct? Just in a quick comparison.
Okay, I wouldn't completely say everything there is not in Apapa port, but if I may say, they have the advantage of better how will I put it, structures, better facilities. And that's because, you know, this port is recent. Apapa port has been there for a long time. So they have the benefit of learning from the challenges that the current ports are facing, and then bringing up technology, digitizing the process so that they don't get to face the same challenge. Now, let me put it this way, right? You have what is called TEU, that's 20-foot equivalent units. That's what is used to measure the level of capacity that the port has in facilitating importation of goods and you know, clearance of goods at the port. It just talks about the capacity of the port itself. Now, in Nigeria today, we have 6 main ports, right? Those 6 ports, main ports all over the country, including Lagos. Lagos seems to be the highest. Lagos has a total combined processing capacity, that's the TEU, of about 600,000, right? The total as at half year for the entire country, this half year 2022 was 850,000 TEUs. Now, the Lekki port has a total capacity, current total capacity of about 1.2 million TEUs. So that space alone is enormous. And what that means is that there are a lot more that can be done, a lot more that can be done, a lot more that can be achieved. And that's one of the selling points for this particular, in terms of its capacity to take care of more container storage yard. It has more container storage yard. It has more, barging services that allow ease of movement of goods to the clients. And I mean, these are some of the things that are currently not fully optimized in Apapa, because and it's not like Apapa is not, it's not like I want to run Apapa down. It's not so, but you have a port that has gone a step higher in terms of development, right? And I mean, quite frankly, I wouldn't want to say you take out Apapa totally from the equation, no, because it's also serving its purpose. All right, not all the goods that are coming into the country would be able to be channeled into this the free port, but you're able to now ease the pressure on all the other ports with this one. And the fact is that it is fully digitized, which makes it easy to clear, clear the goods and move on without necessarily experiencing the delays that we are experiencing with the other ports. And also, this particular port supports transshipment, which is a key thing, if you want to talk about economic development. It supports transshipment. And that makes it attractive to so many companies that want to move goods in and through Nigeria.
All right, so I've got a couple of messages before we end the show. This first one coming in from Ogena Ochuko, who says, technology driven sounds good, but my worry is the only road to that sea. Will the only road to that seaport cope with the pressure upon its takeoff? Whilst Azuka says, from Yaba says, can the master plan be shared with the public? And Shaya from Lekki says, I don't agree on the accessibility to the ports. There's only that one road from Aja, and even the road out through Ekpe is inadequate. And Benito says, this new port still has a shortfall, no rail for container movement. All right. So that's all the messages we can take now as we come to the end of the show.
All right.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Seun, thank you. Really appreciate it. Seun, of course, head of trade and transactional services at Stanbic IBTC. We appreciate your time. And Sope, you're awesome as usual. And thanks to all our listeners for sending in their messages. She'll address that road network thing, but that still seems to be a concern for people. So I guess when we'll see the practicality of it, it will ease people's concerns.
All right, then. Okay, and that's Business Express done. Do remember you can catch the replay just by going over to youtube.com/smooth981 FM Lagos.